Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. First of all, let me apologize for my voice. I'm a little under the weather right now, but I really wanted to share this project with you all. This is a fun pocket card featuring a couple of ways to use Betterpress plates or press plates from Pinkfresh Studio. And I'm using the brand new February 2024 release from Pinkfresh Studio. This is not the entire release that I'm showing you. I'm showing you the projects I'm going to be featuring in the next couple of days. There are some fabulous new stamp and die sets, some new press plates in their line, which if you're not familiar with press plates, they're designed to work with the Betterpress system from Spellbinders, but they are also compatible with your Glimmer hot foil system. So you kind of get a lot of bang for your buck with these press plates. So this is a look at the colors that I'll be using. I am using the Pinkfresh Studio ink cubes today for all of my inking. You can see I have some beautiful oranges, corals, and pinks pulled out, and then a really unique blend of greens. So I'm going to start with my Betterpress platform and the Stippled Plaid press plate. It's brand new from Pinkfresh Studio. And I have a piece of cotton cardstock. Now, cotton cardstock is going to give you the best results for Betterpress because it's going to give you a really nice deep impression. And if you pick up the Betterpress cardstock that is designed to work with the Betterpress, that is a cotton cardstock. So you're safe with that. There are other brands on the market that sell a cotton cardstock, and other cardstocks that work really well are something like a watercolor cardstock that has kind of that really kind of thick and fibrous base to it because it's going to give you the deepest impression. So I am now using my ink cubes to ink up the Stippled Plaid press plate from Pinkfresh Studio. You can see I placed it right in the center of my Betterpress platform, and that magnetic base is holding it in place. And I'm doing a little bit of ombre inking. I'm starting with Pinkfresh Studio's Peach Fuzz ink, working up to Sunkissed, then I'm moving into Coral Reef, and then finally Cherry Blossom. And this is going to give me a beautiful blend all the way up this. Now you can see I have placed my cotton cardstock on the platen or that clear plate of the Betterpress system, and I've held it in place with a little bit of Best Ever Craft tape from Spellbinders. Now I'm going to make sure this platform is kind of pushed all the way down into the lower right hand corner, because if I need to kind of press this again to add a little more ink, I want to make sure it's in the same exact spot. So you can think of that kind of magnetic base the same way you would think of the foam pad in your Misty. If you keep it in the same spot as you press over and over again, you can continue to add more ink. Now, I got a great impression this first time through, and I have a really nice deep impression with a lot of texture, and I didn't need to press again, but that is always an option. So now I'm moving on to a different press plate in this release, and this is the Breezy Blossoms press plate. And this time I'm using it with my Glimmer hot foil system to create a hot foiled image. So I've laid it on the platform of my Glimmer system. I've allowed the timer to complete its time, and now I am adding my foil with the pretty side facing the pretty side of my press plate. I'm adding my Concord and Ninth white cardstock, which is my favorite cardstock for hot foil, and then I added the shim and the thin shim and the plate for the Glimmer hot foil system, and I ran that through my Platinum 6 die cut machine, and you can see I have a beautiful foiled image with this press plate. So these press plates are really versatile, and I love them so much because I can do multiple techniques with them. Now, once I have that foiled image, I am going to take this over and do some ink blending. So I'm using a Waffle Flower 8x8 grip mat to hold my cardstock and my stencil in place while I add my colors. And I'm using the same colors that I used on that Stippled Plaid background. I'm starting with Peach Fuzz here, and I'm adding it to these flowers in that large area. And I'm going to go and add a little bit of Sunkissed towards the middle of these large openings as well. Once I have all of my ink blended on stencil number 1, I'm going to remove that, place stencil number 2, and then go back into the Sunkissed ink to add the details of these florals. Now, I really like to wipe off my stencils before I remove them from the foiled image because it keeps me from smearing any ink that's on top of that foil onto the images. So now I am on stencil number 3, and I'm starting out with Cherry Blossom to blend onto these other kind of floral designs here. I'm going to wipe this down and move on to stencil 4. And for the details of these florals, I am using Coral Reef. Now I'm moving on to the greenery, and this is where I kind of chose a unique blend here. I'm starting out by adding eucalyptus all over the large openings of this leaf stencil. And once that base of eucalyptus is added, I'm going to wipe down my stencil and I'm going to add a little bit of Tidal Pond to the base of these leaves. And it's going to give the most beautiful kind of shift into that blue-green area. And I'm just adding a little bit. I'm not going over the entire leaf areas, but it is so beautiful. These colors blend together so well. Finally, I'm finishing off with the very last stencil. This is stencil number 6, and I am using Lush Forest ink from Pinkfresh Studio, and this is going to be the details of all those leaves. Now, once I have this all blended, and I am using the 1/2-inch blending brush from Pinkfresh Studio for all of my ink blending today, I'm going to remove my final stencil and look at these results. They are absolutely gorgeous. I love these florals. And the best thing about this is that when you die cut these, you have several images that you can use. And I actually got 2 cards out of this one foil and kind of stencil run through. Now I kind of laid out what I thought I would do here, and I'm taking this background that I pressed with my Betterpress, and I am just cutting a slit right along the upper part of one of those stippled plaid lines. And this is going to create a pocket for me to kind of slide things into and create a really unique card design. Now, to kind of help that pocket kind of stand out, I did add a strip of gold cardstock. I used a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm adhering it actually above the slit opening or the pocket opening there. And then I'll begin to kind of tuck in the floral images that I'm using for this card. Now, once I get everything in place, I was kind of like, I have them in place, but how do I keep them in place while I kind of glue these onto the back? So I just used a little bit of mint tape from scrapbook.com to hold those onto the front, flipped it over to the back, and then added some liquid glue behind the stems that were coming to the back side of this card front. And then I added a clear block on top of that to allow that to dry. Now for my sentiment, I'm using the brand new Happy Vibes stamp set from Pinkfresh Studio. It's a part of their brand new release that's available today. And if you want more information on that, be sure you visit my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below. Over there, you'll find information on a blog hop celebrating this brand new release, and there are prizes, so you want to make sure you join me over there. But I did a little bit of masking on this sentiment stamp to add a little bit of pink to the top, and then I'm masking off that top line that I just stamped, and I'm inking up the bottom part with 2 different colors of these kind of peachy orange inks, which, by the way, total Pantone color of the years here. I'm using Peach Fuzz and Sunkiss for that, being sure that that top line that I've already stamped in the pink is masked off so that I'm not getting any orange into that pink. Now, you definitely could, and you could create more of an ombre look, but I was kind of creating separation between the 2 colors. And once I'm done inking that, I'll remove the masking paper and press that onto my cardstock. I decided I wanted those colors a little bit more intense, so I went back and inked up parts of the stamp again, and then in my Misty stamping tool, I can easily stamp into that same spot again, press that down, and then I am ready to die cut. And I love that all these stamped sentiments have coordinating dies. So I went ahead and ran that through, and I also die cut it 2 more times from some plain white cardstock and stacked those up. And then I added my sentiment right on top of a die cut vellum circle, and that just helps give it a little bit of differentiation from the background. Now I also die cut some vellum leaves using the Curvy leaves die set. It's one of my favorites from Pinkfresh Studio. I use it all the time. I tucked those in and adhered them with some liquid glue. And then I took my card front and added it onto a Barely Peach card base. And I used some foam adhesive behind that, added some clear droplets from Pinkfresh Studio, and that finishes off this really adorable pocket card. So easy to create, so easy to put together. And I love that I was able to use all these brand new press plates from Pinkfresh Studio in so many different ways with the foiling and the press. And I just think this Breezy Blossoms press plate stamp set product suite is absolutely gorgeous. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my card making and paper crafting video tutorials. Thanks again, I so appreciate you, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.